All right, I think we're good.
Uh-oh. To go out? I think yours is muted, bruh. I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties here. I cannot hear you at all. Is there something wrong with mine?
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I'm already having technical issues. So now everyone knows how my life is going right about now. Good morning, everyone. I'm joining Asher for the Man to Man podcast on the Sunday morning.
Asher, how are you?
Oh, yeah. I'm good. You know, ready for NFL game day. Got my DFS picks in. Got my start sit sleep ready. I'm not wearing a Minnesota Vikings jersey today, but I do got on my Lake Heath-based softball team. Shout out to the boys if y'all are watching. Ready to go. Let's kick into it. You're muted. I can't hear you right now. You're muted again.
Asher, what's up?
What up? Tom's having some technical difficulties right now.
All right. Well, what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
Big chillin'.
So after I said that thing yesterday or last week about Dalvin Cook, even though I didn't really say anything bad, and then you said he got stretchered off. Like, I looked into it. I was like, oh, my God, I kind of feel bad at this point. He dislocated his shoulder. Why did he get stretchered off?
He has a torn labrum now, but he had like a dislocated shoulder. I don't know why he got stretchered off, but
yeah, no. So I remember looking into it. I was just like, what? Like, he's not no ACL or anything. All right. How you doing, man? So
big chillin'.
Hopefully we get Tom back here soon. I think he's fixing on that. But another Sunday where we're all three are here, at least for most of it. At least. Did you watch any college football yesterday?
Yeah, I watched a few games. I caught the Michigan-Iowa game last night because I couldn't fall asleep. So I'm like, you know what? What better way to fall asleep?
That was a good game to fall asleep to.
I mean, shoot, it had its moments for sure. I think the biggest thing we need to get into is that Pickett.
Okay, I do have the video. Because we're gonna have to talk about it for a second afterwards too.
Yeah.
Well, first I have another video. Just from our most recent, our favorite tight end.
It was the deepest penetration they've had all day. And then to the end zone, Freiermuth, and caught. Was he in? Yes, he was. Touchdown.
So I wasn't on last week. But it's becoming clearly evident that I was wronger and wronger about that, and the fact that he was literally the only touchdown Pittsburgh scored. So that's good. But here is the Kenny Pickett. What a great way to score right here. It's just
filthy.
It's a great play.
That was Mark Whipple on the sidelines, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers. Pickett, a very good runner. Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time. Pickett. Did that work? Touchdown, Pitt!
That was absolutely ridiculous.
That was incredible. Tom, are you with us, man?
I think so. I hope so.
All right, we at least hear you, so we're good. But yeah, I'm so happy you sent that to me because I didn't see it live, and I didn't really see anything buzzing about it. And then you sent it to me, and I was like, holy shit. Okay, but the issue is going to be now, like that might be the only time anyone's ever going to do that because they're not going to allow it anymore.
You don't think so?
They talked about it a ton after the game, like because in college and pro, when you're a quarterback, you're giving yourself up, so they have to back off. So yeah,
I could definitely see the controversy there. I mean, when as a defensive back or a safety coming in, it's cheap if you decide to hit the quarterback while he's going down. So of course you're going to want to pull out when it looks like he's about to slide. Yeah. So either way, that was a filthy move. Love to see it from a quarterback, but still, I could see the controversy. That's got to be
once that game got out of hand in the second half, I swear, like the commentators just had like a 10, 20-minute conversation back and forth about how they're going to do it. But I mean, even cooler about that is though that like if that is the only time it's ever done, that was the sweetest. Like that was just awesome.
It couldn't happen in a better way.
Yeah, and I'm all in on Kenny Pickett. I'm basically all in on every quarterback right now, but we'll talk about that more later.
So I see that ruling going one of two ways. Either you allow the defensive back to put at least a body on a quarterback while he's going down, or B, you just can't let that happen. You can't let fake slides happen. Those are the only two directions that can go.
Yeah, I think college immediately will I think they'll immediately say you can't do that. Like once you give yourself up, you can't do that just because that's how they are. I would think the NFL will go towards that too, but I don't know. We'll see. I
mean, we saw Michael Vick hit fake slides all the time.
Yes, but this is also a different NFL. But I completely agree with you. But yeah, I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen it, and that was awesome. But so I talked to you, Asher. Tom, what's up, man? How we doing? How's school? I know you got a big couple weeks coming up. I once you told me that this week, I was like, oh my God, he brought back like the worst memories of my life.
Yeah, man. I spent all day Friday because I have no classes on Friday. I spent from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just working on this one paper with only like an hour break in between. I didn't really eat that much or whatever, but I worked on it for that long, and I only got 4 pages done. It's a 15-page paper, and I want to cry, but at least it's on an interesting topic.
Yeah.
I'm writing about the Zach Stacy situation for those of you that know.
Oh, okay, cool.
Zach Stacy is without getting into too deep into politics, but that was just disgusting.
And honestly, it's not even politics. That's just basic human.
Yeah, and honestly, like I usually make the smart move, and like I don't click press play on those, and I finally click press play, and I was like, this is just horrible. So
that is really gross.
I'm not writing about the actions itself. I made that very clear in my introduction of like that's a horrible, disgusting thing to do and to have to witness. I'm talking about, because this is a media ethics class, I'm talking about how news networks should go about kind of sharing it while still like providing everyone the whole story, and like whether or not it's ethical to put it behind an age wall if you're writing for an online newspaper, giving discretionary stuff beforehand and things like that. So that's my paper.
Yeah, and maybe it's a little pages. Yeah, that's maybe it's even a little bit outside of it, but legally you probably come into some things like you can't come out and say like certain things because you're innocent.
That's why you have to use allegedly.
Yeah, innocently to prove good. But yeah, whatever. On to better things. Tom, I don't know if you saw it a second ago. I had your favorite tight end, my new. I don't know. I guess he owns me. His touchdown from last week.
We're going to talk about him again. Don't you worry.
He consistently is in my thoughts. Like whenever he crosses, like whenever his name comes up on the ticker, I'm just like Jesus Christ. So, yeah. Well, good for you guys. But yeah, we've been apart for a little while now. But any thoughts on the NFL as a whole? Really, the Browns suck. It's going to suck even worse that they're going to come off this bye to play the Ravens again and get killed. And it's not like the Ravens like killed them. They picked off Lamar Jackson 4 times, and Lamar Jackson looked like crap. And the Browns just couldn't. The Browns just couldn't score.
I believe they got 5 turnovers and put up 10 points.
So it's a good thing is the NBA did a great thing for me. The Cavs play at 3:30 today, and I got tickets to the game. So I will be going to that. They play the Jazz, and the Cavs are sneaky good.
But the Jazz, I was watching them last night. I think it was versus Boston. That was a crazy game. Were you watching any of that?
Nah, I was all caught up in college football yesterday, but no, I mean, the NBA is like something that I really don't follow, but the Cavs are kind of good now, and Sexton isn't playing, which is like awesome for me because I, for whatever reason, hate Sexton. But whatever. Let's get into the NFL. Like we usually do it. Injury report. If any of you guys want to start with anything, I'm just pulling up like the NFL.com injury report.
I think that there's one of the biggest stories in the injury report that just came out probably 10 minutes ago while we were starting.
Okay. Then
Jalen Hurts is now out versus the Jets.
So they came out. It's funny because they came out yesterday, and there was a report that came out that said it's confirmed Jalen Hurts is out. And all of a sudden, a bunch of media sources came out, started blowing up about Jalen Hurts, and then the team goes, "We have not said or confirmed that Jalen Hurts is out yet." So it is interesting to see that Jalen Hurts is out, and media sources somehow were correct, which leads me to believe that there's so much miscommunication going on with that organization right now.
Yeah, well, and I think it's really interesting because everyone kind of forgets, and I sort of forgot a little bit too until I started thinking about it. That means Gardner Minshew is making another NFL start.
Minshew magic.
Minshew mania, my man. I have a sticker on my laptop for it, but it's really interesting because I think that at least at the beginning of the season, Justin, you and I talked about how he didn't actually do that bad down in Jacksonville. Right?
No, he wasn't terrible at all.
Was terrible, but his numbers were actually pretty good. So I think that he has like starter capability, at least for a little bit, or So this could be him because I believe his contract is up after this year or next. This could be his audition to potentially get another starting gig.
And I will be talking more about Minshew later, so I don't want to go too deep on this topic right now. But yeah, Minshew mania is coming in to start for the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm sure we're going to have a lot of the same things.
I'm taking open applications in Cleveland at this point. So, I mean, I would rather see Gardner Minshew start the rest of the season than I would rather see Baker start. Find
your next Kurt Warner grocery shopper or grocery worker.
Yeah,
I mean, which brings back to the Eagles, it's been weird. Their rushing game lately has been like really, really good, and it's really interesting to see that offensive line.
Well, I mean, Jalen Hurts' rushing game has been good.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm just out of the loop. Whatever. I don't know. Apparently, the offensive line has been good, and that right tackle, who used to be a rugby player, is awesome. But whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I've been out of the loop. All right. So Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray's going to play. I will go ahead and give him. Well, I'm in a luxury position where I have Stafford and Herbert, so I can start them over him right now. But so I am in a luxury position, so I am sitting him this week just because I want to see how he's going to do back. I think they're going to be pretty cautious with him, but I have the luxury of it. I doubt a lot of people do. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah. Kyler Murray is back, but so is D-Hop. So they have a full, healthy wide receiver core. I mean, not 100% healthy, but everyone will be back this week. So, again, it's going to be hard to trust those guys like Rondale Moore or Christian Kirk, depending on which way Kyler Murray wants to go with this.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I might have a little more to say about Christian Kirk later. We'll see. All right, Justin Fields is out. Who are they playing? The Bears are playing who? Someone bad. No, they're playing Arizona.
Yeah, they're playing Arizona.
They're playing Arizona. If the Arizona Cardinals are, we can talk about that in the actual podcast. Never mind. Daniel Jones is out. Who's Daniel Jones' backup?
Mike Glennon.
Hey, he looked pretty good the last time Daniel Jones was out.
Okay. I hear you. Dalvin Cook is out. I'm sure we'll get to why can't I think of his name?
Alexander Madison.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to him in a little bit. All right. DeAndre Swift is out as well.
We'll be talking about his backup. I will at least.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, he said he will. He will later on talk about his backup.
Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is questionable with an illness. The Chiefs have kind of picked it up lately. Josh Jacobs is questionable. Melvin Gordon is out. You guys can stop me whatever you want. Henderson is questionable for the Rams. James Robinson is questionable. Alex Collins is questionable. I mean, I don't even know why you would play anyone on the Seahawks. David Johnson is questionable with an illness. McKissick out. Jordan Howard out. Boston Scott, questionable. Philip Lindsay, doubtful. Damian Williams out. Trey Sermon, injured reserve. Any other ones I missed, guys?
There will be plenty that come through on my screen, so we'll get those later on.
So I'll just go down the list that I have in front of me, and you guys fill in with the Twitter or whatever, the live updates here. So as you guys mentioned, DeAndre Hopkins is back. Deebo Samuel's out, which sucks. I want to talk about Deebo Samuel a little bit later. Beckham's out, or he's questionable, which usually means he's out, which kind of sucks because I thought this might be the 1 week that he could actually do something for the Rams, but I don't know. Corey Davis is questionable. Antonio Brown is we can get into him if we want to. Allen Robinson is doubtful. It doesn't matter. He's a ghost. Devontae Parker was activated, and he's available to play, probably number 2 receiver. Sterling Shepard, doubtful. Kadarius Toney, doubtful. Brandon Cooks is questionable. Oh, damn. Deshaun Jackson is questionable. Curtis Samuel is questionable. Has Curtis Samuel played a game?
He played last week. He was limited, though.
Yeah, he's played 2 games and did not finish either.
Real quick, Tom, I don't know if you said it or someone said it. I saw it somewhere. Do we ever think Will Fuller is ever going to play football ever again?
Oh,
I don't think he should,
but I definitely thought about it.
I don't think he should. I mean, with all the injuries he's enduring, if these are actually serious injuries, he should just pull an Andrew Luck and be like, listen, for medical reasons, I cannot continue to play football. I
100% agree, because I know the joke always was like, Derrick Rose, I want to be able to walk at my son's graduation. Like, dude, you get hurt from walking around now. So, you might not be able to walk in 10 years. So, I just thought that's interesting. So, Tom, I know me and you, when we talk about Madden, we always like him. John Ross is questionable. Chris Conley is questionable. Danny Amendola, okay, out. Darren Waller is out. Jack Doyle, questionable. Ricky Seals-Jones is questionable. Kyle Rudolph is questionable. Adam Shaheen is doubtful. I don't know how a kicker is questionable, but Nick Folk is questionable.
He's the number 1 scoring fantasy kicker this year by a wide margin.
They get injuries too.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like I guess if it's like his left leg, but if it's like a quarterback, it's like to your right arm. Like, I mean, what can you do? Sorry, just had to point that out. Defensive people. I'm a little defensive after Asher ripped me apart the last time I watched. So, Shaquille Griffin is out. Marlon Humphrey is questionable. Landon Collins is out. Jordan Whitehead's out. Akeem Hicks is out. DeForest Buckner is questionable. Anthony Barr, questionable. TJ Watt will play, it looks like. Eric Kendricks is out. That sucks. I love Eric Kendricks. The Patriots, Jawan Bentley is questionable. Jalen Ferguson, questionable. Patrick Queen, questionable. Damn, he's a beast. Roquan Smith, questionable. Fred Warner is doubtful, and Devin White is questionable. And they're honoring something this week. So NFL salute to service key review. Oh, never mind. They did that last week.
Man, I just made a fucking filthy DFS lineup. Sorry. While you were doing the injury report.
Nope. We're good. Do you guys have anything else? I don't know.
No, I'm thinking. Oh, did we talk about David Johnson being out?
I believe I said his name.
Okay.
Then I don't know if that means
okay.
anything.
I just wanted to make. No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure.
I
have a couple. I'm going to have a couple of running backs to talk about in each of these sections this week, just because I feel that it's very important that all of them are talked about.
All right. Well, if you feel that way, then we'll do it that way. All right. So let's start with our starters this week. Hold on, let me pull up my fantasy lineup. Okay. Starters this week. Tom, let's start with you, my man. Let's start with our quarterback.
All right. Well, if that's going to be the case, I'm going to go with Derek Carr this week versus Washington. Washington's coming off a very good string of games here, but a lot of people don't recognize that Derek Carr is currently leading all quarterbacks in passing yards this year. He popped out, I believe, last week. Was it Thanksgiving games last week?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yeah, he threw
balled
373 yards and had 25 fantasy points or something.
100%. And we saw the connection last week with Deshaun Jackson. They connected for that first touchdown of 2 for a deep shot. And as that chemistry goes and grows on, that's going to only help Derek Carr as he now has a replacement for someone who's now serving time in a penitentiary, potentially.
I think he's out on bail.
Is he? Okay, close enough. The Washington defense is not nearly as scary as we all thought it would be coming into this year. And they've also given up a league-leading 26 touchdown passes on defense. So I'm very, very excited to see Derek Carr today versus Washington.
All right, Asher.
Yeah, I had 2 quarterbacks on the slate, Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz, but I'm going to go this week with Carson Wentz. The reason I'm saying this is because Carson Wentz has a great matchup this week against Houston's defense. Say what you want. They've been playing well the past couple of weeks, but to say the least, they haven't played quarterbacks that you can rely on. The last 3 weeks, they played Tua. They played Ryan Tannehill without Derrick Henry in their offense, and then they played Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson had a great day as far as rookie quarterbacks are concerned. He had some decent numbers put up on the board, but considering Carson Wentz is coming into this game on fire, almost defeating the Buccaneers defense last week, who are arguably one of the best defenses in the league. I think Carson Wentz has a great day against Houston. Houston is not a scary defense. Yes, they have played well in the past couple of weeks, but like I said, they haven't played a reliable offense like the Indianapolis Colts have. So I'm going with Carson Wentz as my starter.
Love that. I was going to use him as a sleeper, hypothetically, until some news came out this morning.
All right, I had Derek Carr as well. So I'll just go with my sleeper then. Tua, I'll go with Tua. He was 27 for 31 last year last week, 203 yards on a touchdown versus a good Panthers secondary. The Giants have allowed 6 QBs to score at least 22 points this year, and that's who he's playing.
Yeah, I actually really like that pick as well. Damn, that was a good pick. I didn't even think about that.
Literally all 3 of the quarterbacks you mentioned were the only ones I written down, so we can clearly see that I just go online and search for mine. All right, on to our running backs. Asher, you can go ahead and start this one.
Yeah, this week I am going to go with my homeboy. I'm going Alexander Mattison against Detroit Lions this week. Detroit Lions rush defense is absolutely atrocious, giving up at least 26.9 points a game. Alexander Madison's game tape looks almost identical to Dalvin Cook. I think the biggest key factor for Alexander Mattison coming into this game is his power in his run game, more so than Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook has his elusiveness and being able to do jump cuts reliably. Alexander Mattison, he can, but he looks to hit bodies. He's a great runner, great power runner. Detroit's going to have their handful with Alexander Madison.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Alexander Madison, like he says, Dalvin Cook light.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they are identical with helmets on is crazy. Tom.
Excuse me. So this is one where I have a couple of guys to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is this is shaping up to be Javonte Williams' breakout game. Melvin Gordon is, I believe, out. I don't know if we talked about that. You probably read his name, and I was trying to get my mic situated. But Javonte Williams is now going to be the bulk carrier today versus Kansas City. Even when Gordon plays, Williams gets a lot of work. He's a top 20 fantasy option with significant upside coming into the game today, in my opinion, solely because he's going to get an insane amount of work that we haven't seen from him so far. And from what we've seen so far on his limited 50-50 split, he's been putting up numbers. So that's the first guy I want to talk about. The other one is, I guess you could say sort of a sleeper, but I don't really – actually, you know what? No. I'll move him to sleeper. I'll talk about Jamal Williams versus the Vikings today. I said we were just going to talk about it a little bit. DeAndre Swift has been playing amazing this year, and even with him in the lineup of playing the way he's been playing, Jamal Williams has been able to put up some decent weeks and some decent numbers. And now he's going to be the primary ball carrier. I believe last week when Swift was out, or once he got out, Jamal Williams took not only over 80% of the snaps, but he took every single carry except for 2 the rest of the game. So I think that it's going to be a very similar situation this week. So I'm going with J. Will versus KC and J. Will versus Minnesota.
That's funny how that works. Love to hear it.
All right. I'm gonna go with Miles Sanders versus the Jets. Jordan Howard is out. Not Bart Scott. I knew when I put B Scott, I was gonna say Bart Scott. Boston Scott is questionable. He's averaging 9 yards per game over the last 2 or 3, I believe, and he's averaging 6.3 yards per carry. And Jets give up the most points to fantasy running backs.
Mm-hmm. That we do.
All righty. Let's go to wide receivers. I'll start. He's doubtful, but I'm still going to go with him. I'm going to go with Brandy Cook versus the Colts. He has 91 targets this year. I'm going to say this is crazy. It's 54 more than any other player on the Texans.
Wow.
The Colts have given up 6 receiving touchdowns the last 2 weeks. And the last time these two met, he had 9 targets and scored 17 fantasy points. That's if he plays, though, so this could be a failure as well.
Right, but the upside there for Cooks is insane because, like you said, he's getting the targets. But last time he put up the 19 points, I think that was on a 2-touchdown performance, if I remember correctly, or he had like 10 catches. So the Colts secondary is the weakest part of the defense, and Cooks has always been able so far to find the holes in the Colts defense. So I really like that pick for you there.
Thank you. Let's just hope he plays. Asher.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my boy Jaylen Waddle for the Miami Fish team. Jaylen Waddle is pulling up a great matchup with the New York Giants. Considering Devontae Parker is coming back in this game, he's going to be pulling James Bradbury away from Jaylen Waddle. So I see Jaylen Waddle opening up tremendous holes in the New York Giants defense. He's quick. He knows how to run his routes. He's a reliable pass catcher. Over the past 3 weeks, he's had 6, 9, and 10 targets. This man's he's due for another big game this week against Giants. So I'm going Jaylen Waddle.
That was going to be mine as well. It goes right in tandem with Justin's choice of quarterback starter.
I just think we need to come out and say from like here on out, and this has a little bit to do with last night, every Alabama wide receiver is just going to be good for the rest of time. Jameson Williams from last night is going to go in the top 15. He might go number 1 overall because he might run a 4.2. It's just insane. I don't want to get into it. We can talk to it on the actual podcast. Sorry. But yes.
No.
And imagine how much better the Alabama team would have been the entire year with Waddle and Devonta Smith. All right.
Yeah.
Go, Tom.
All right. Like I said, I also really liked Waddle this week, but I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney versus Arizona. We saw him break out not only last week, but I believe the last couple of times he's kind of come out. He's building up chemistry with Fields, and right before he got hurt, they were getting things going. But he does have the chemistry with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton targeted him. I had the number pulled up. Does anyone know? I want to say he had like 8 targets last week.
I would look it up, but I'm too lazy. Sorry.
No, 8 targets on 5 catches for 123 yards. And the week before that versus Baltimore, he had 16 targets on 5 catches, 121 yards and a touchdown. They had the bye before that, and then the game versus Pittsburgh, when he still had Justin Fields, he had 6 targets, 3 catches, 41 yards and a touchdown. And then I believe he also ran a touchdown in for 15 yards. The Bears are actually starting to figure out that they need to get the ball to their playmakers. And Andy Dalton, while he's not a great quarterback, and I'm not vouching for him in any facet, He's a guy that will not mess up enough to lose you too many games. He will get the ball where he needs to get it, even if it is a duck when he throws it. And they are going to get it to Darnell Mooney if they're going to try and come in and beat this Arizona team. Not that they actually have a shot, in my opinion, but Mooney's going to play a huge factor, and he's going to have a big day if the Bears are going to hold their own. So I'm going with Darnell Mooney.
Okay. I like Darnell Mooney. I like him. Where did he go to school? I actually don't know that. Wow. Why don't I know this? All right. I'll look it up, Tom. Don't worry. Because I know it's going to bug me. If you know it before me, it's going to piss me off. So don't even think about it now. All right. Let's go tight ends. Tom, we'll start with you.
I'm going with that Fryer move.
Oh, sorry. Well, you know what? I guess we could just flip back and forth each week now from now on. So that's good.
I'm going
guys,
with
every week it'll be assumed that one has Freiermuth. So just make sure you both have it written down because I might.
No, we both have Freiermuth. We've been doing this for a couple weeks now.
Well, I might. Who gets to go first? I might change it up on you guys. You never know.
I'm not stopping. Funny. I'm still going Freiermuth as well. So
yeah, there's no stopping it. We both go Freiermuth like every.
All right. So I guess you guys are. This is what we'll do. We'll do. My goal every week will just pick a tight end that does better than Freiermuth. That's my whole goal this whole week, and I think I got one.
But I actually this was kind of not as a joke because I actually think he's about to pop off versus Baltimore because Baltimore versus tight ends has not been the best. He's currently Freiermuth coming into the game. Number one is I believe since week 6 running at about tight end 4. Since week 6 when he kind of started to make a name for himself. And we've seen him now have double-digit fantasy points in 5 of the last 6 outings. And the one that he missed, he had 8 points. So he was very close to hitting that for the last 6 games. There was some concern this week with him coming out of concussion protocol for this game. But he's made it through 2 full practices. He's going to be a full go. And the big thing for me is Baltimore versus the tight end position is the 4th. They give up the 4th most amount of points to fantasy tight ends. So I think that Pat Freiermuth is honestly a lock for a top 10 week this week for tight ends. So
I think he's a lock for at least the top 7.
I didn't want to stretch it that far, but
fair enough. I'll stretch it that far.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud. Ben looks for him in the red zone. He's this huge target. They called him Baby Gronk in college for a reason. I like half jokingly, half not. I very much think Freiermuth's going to have a good week.
I'm not going to say anything. Every single tight end that's over 6'4" that's young is the next. It's Baby Gronk. We've called Baby Gronk to like 17 different people over the years.
I'll pick a new tight end. I'll pick a new starting tight end. I have a different starting tight end.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go with Dallas Goddard this week. With the news that Minshew Mania is going to be out here or is going to be playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that opens up a lot in the passing game due to the fact that Jalen Hurts is more versatile. He likes to, play the game on the ground, in the air. He kind of diversifies the offense. I think with Minshew Mania coming in, I'd see a lot more of an air raid offense with a hint of ground and pound in there. I think Dallas Goddard has an excellent chance to be a red zone target for Minshew. I know Minshew, he was able to get the ball around, did a lot with a little, and considering he's coming in today's game against the Jets with an average offense, you got Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard, you have some weapons on the team. I'm excited to see what he can do with Dallas Goddard.
All right. I'm going to go with Zach Ertz versus the Bears. Last time he played him, he had 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. And now since he's joining the Cardinals, he's averaging almost 6 targets a game. So I like Zach Ertz. Defense, whoever wants to go ahead.
Colts.
Colts first season. That's fair. I'm going with Miami versus the Giants, especially with Daniel Jones out and their top receiving option in Shepard.
Eagles. All right. Sit them. All right. Start with their quarterbacks. I'm just going to start this first because this really has no backing. What did you say?
No,
Oh, sorry, I heard you
it's
messing.
loud.
This has no backing whatsoever. And Tom, maybe we could talk about this a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going to sit Mac Jones this week just because he's due. He's due to have a bad week. It's a big game. Granted, he's shown he can play in the weather, but it's going to be a different kind of weather tomorrow night in Buffalo. Snow. If anything, I don't think it'll be in the hands of Mac Jones as much. I think they'll use the running game, or it'll be a defensive battle. So Mac Jones, I just don't. He has to come down, because if he does this and he goes in there and beats Buffalo, like when it's snowing, like, and throws 4 touchdowns, then I'll just turn off the NFL for the rest of my life. I don't know what I'll do. I'll just be done with it. That's basically what I did with the Browns for the past 15 years. I'm fully capable of doing it again. So, I
actually very much agree with that, because not only is he due, but Mac Jones hasn't played a defense of Buffalo's caliber yet. One of the things that Belichick has been doing this year, and you can go back and look at the game log and see, like, just even the play-by-play, he has been using the run game and the run game that Belichick has always ran. But he's using the run game to establish dominance in the trenches, and then he lets Mac Jones go to work, whether it's with the short game, the mid game, maybe a deep ball here or there. But he's been very, very supported by Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, Brandon Bolden. All of the guys out of the backfield have been great in establishing the run and making the defensive coordinator on the other side think about the running back position. The Bills, however, are the number 1 rushing defense, even after their complete implosion the 2 or 3 times that they've beat themselves, right? So they're the number 1 rushing defense. I think that they're going to have a very hard time establishing that run game. And that's where I think Mac Jones is going to be put on the spot a lot more and have to move the ball through the air. And I'm not going to lie, I've been very disappointed with the Buffalo secondary this year. I thought that they were going to be very solid. They're coming off losing their best player in Tre'Davious White. They're losing him out, and that really sucks. But I do think that they have the pieces and the wares to stop the New England offense through the air as well as they can on the ground. I think that they're just having a tough time with the chemistry. Because we saw Micah Hyde after – who did they play? Not last week, because they played the Saints. It was the one after that where they put up like this completely terrible performance. Does anyone remember?
What did you say? Say it again.
Who did they play not this past week? Because that was the Saints the last week. Oh, the Colts, where they got stomped by the Colts, right? Micah I always forget his name. Is it Micah Hyde? Is he the safety on that team?
Yeah, and Jordan Poyer.
Micah Hyde came out after the game, and he was like, yeah, we just made mistakes defensively. Like, we can't have that happen. It's on us. We need to be able to, fix these mistakes going into next week and going through the rest of the season. But, like, he called out the entire defense. And while that's sometimes needed from a veteran presence, I think it's very important for that to not affect the chemistry. So this last week's win over the Saints, I think, could have been the morale boost they needed, but Buffalo is having a problem this year where they're beating up on the bad teams, which is great, but they can't figure out how to beat the good teams. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they kind of handle the in-division rival Patriots as they're both fighting for that top spot in the AFC East.
Yeah, I'm not all in on sitting Mac Jones this week. You guys make great points, and Mac Jones, he is going to be. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to note that I have no statistical analysis of Tom's form. I just can't have it anymore. I can't do it. So go ahead.
No, that's fair. The only reason I'm not.
You're in the NFC. You're in the NFC, Asher. You don't get it. Go ahead.
I get it. Yeah. No. I trust me. Anyways, I'm not all in on sitting Mac Jones this week. I know you guys are right. They're probably going to force Mac Jones to throw the ball a bit more, like other quarterbacks in the league. But considering they are missing Tre'Davious White, I know he's not the whole defense, but he is a very big playmaker, and he kind of brings the defense together. Tre'Davious White last year missed 2 games. once against Tennessee, and once against Miami. And they let up the most points that they let up all year to those two teams.
Mm-hmm.
So without Tre'Davious White, that is a big missing piece. And, I mean, just based off the numbers alone, Mac Jones does have a chance to put up bigger numbers with Tre'Davious White out of that defense. Like I said, again, the defense might be different than they were last year, but with Tre'Davious White, you still have to come up with another game plan.
Well, and I would make the point that it is different from last year because they let up how many points? I want to say it was like 44 to Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. I mean, and that's before Tre'Davious White tore his ACL. They are not the team that everyone thought they were going to be coming into this year, especially defensively, and to a certain extent offensively. But I think that obviously losing your best defensive player is a blow. But I think that they're going to be able, maybe not this week, but down the road, they're going to be able to work around that and to find a way to win without him. And they're going to have to, because this, I think, could potentially be like their one shot as the Patriots are now coming back into relevance. While Mac Jones is still a rookie, and while he's still, even though he hasn't made too many of them, but making rookie mistakes, you need to capitalize on that and win the division this year. So I think that even though I don't love him, McDermott is going to be able to find a way to do that and kind of win going forward. Because if not, it's going to be a wasted year.
I like it.
Fair point. All right. Whoever wants to go next. Asher, we'll go with you.
Oh, man. All right. I'm going to go with sitting Jared Goff this week. That seems like a chalk, especially in most weeks. I get it. It's not your bold prediction or like, a guy that you usually start and sit. He's been pretty much a sit all year long. But I'm going to go with Jared Goff, considering the Vikings have the most sacks out of any team this league, and Jared Goff is a sack machine. He gets sacked more times than the majority of the quarterbacks in the league. So I see Vikings really putting the pedal to the metal against Jared Goff, trying to get him thrown off his game, trying to make him throw some stupid balls, and I see the Vikings having at least one or two interceptions this game. I don't see Jared Goff being able to get the pass game going against a rush defense a pass defense that the Vikings seem to be coming together.
I agree. I'm not going to sit here and justify Jared Goff.
No. I don't think anybody really can.
All right. Very, very serious question, though, on Jared Goff. Does he start next year anywhere? Like, he's getting paid this assload of money. But, like, do you see anyone?
He's on a one-year contract, right? Is he on a one-year contract?
I don't know.
Did he sign?
I thought he signed that extension with the Rams. He's getting paid like $115 million, and if they end up cutting him next year, he still only takes a. I think the deal is, and I can look up the contract in a minute, but he gets paid a base salary for the rest of the contract that's like $115 million, and if they end up cutting him, they still have to pay like $10.5 million on the salary cap for each year that they like would have had him. I believe is how the contract would work. So like I don't 100% know off the top of my head. I saw a post about it on Instagram, but I do know that it's a huge cap hit regardless if they keep him or not.
Yeah, that's I'm looking at it right now. The extension that he signed goes through 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. It's a 40 million, 30 million, 10 million, and 5 million over the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though. I think he probably starts again next year in Detroit.
That's what I was going to get at too. I want to know how long his contract extension goes for. I want to know how long he's still going to be playing in Detroit. I think if Detroit decides to cut him loose, I don't see Jared Goff finding another team picking up his contract extension, considering how he's played without Sean McVay and how he played with Detroit this year. But I don't see Detroit having much options either. I see Detroit looking at a veteran quarterback and Jared Goff, maybe finding him a few more weapons in the draft or even investing in your defense and picking up a few guys off free agency. So this could go a lot of different directions.
It's the Lions we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. It's not like this team is going to be built around Jared Goff overnight. It's going to take some time, but I don't see Jared Goff having a bright future, but I think he probably will stay in Detroit next year.
Yeah, and if you look at what Detroit's doing around him, I mean, they're clearly probably going to have, I mean, at worst, the second or third pick. I know that people do crazy things for quarterbacks. There's no one in this draft that should go in the top 3. It shouldn't be a question of that. So they're going to go with Thibodeau. I think it'd be hilarious if they went with Hutchinson because he sucks. But they're not. Hutchinson cleans up sacks. Watch his film and then come talk to me. He cleans up more than the majority of sacks. Ojabo, I think, will be better than him. But they're either way, they're going to take. I would think they're going to take a defensive player, or the only offensive player they would take is Evan Neal. And I mean, if you really, if you're going to, yeah, I would say if you're going to keep, if their goal like plan is that unless something good comes around or like random or a trade or something, like you got to think they're going to try and have to keep him for at least this year and probably starting into the year after that. Because even if they do draft another one next year, you don't want to start him right away. So I would think that maybe they draft Evan Neal or something like that, if they get the second or third pick, and they build that line, and then maybe Jared Goff doesn't look as horrible with DeAndre Swift having like a full year under. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that you're looking at Jared Goff as a starter probably as in the Lions for at least another 20, 25, 30 games.
And you may call me stupid for saying this, but the Lions are probably going to end up with the first pick, and there's multiple teams with 2 picks in the first round. Why not throw your number 1 pick to steal 2 first rounders within the top 10 or top 15? Why not? You're getting draft capital.
One question. What team do you think is going to give up those 2 top 10 picks for the number 1 pick?
Eagles.
I think the Eagles have the best. I think the Eagles are probably the best candidate for that, considering they have a squad around them. And imagine what they could do with the number 1 pick and bolstering either your defense or maybe getting a key piece in the offense as well.
But aren't the Eagles projected to have like 4 and 5 or something, or like 3 and 4?
So I believe it is right now. It goes Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville. Then I believe Jets, Giants, Eagles, I think.
No. So it's Jets, Giants, and then there's one more team in between the 2 Eagles picks.
Okay. Yeah. So what's scary is to me is I think the Eagles will do something like that, but the Eagles are a team that if like you got to look at them with Jalen Hurts again next year, but with 2 top 10 picks. With like a loaded class that this has of like skill players and people to build around, they could like be a fringe playoff team next year with 2 picks, as long as they don't decide to be like, oh, let's all go in on Kayvon Thibodeau. And you never know, maybe that works too. But the Eagles are scary going forward.
The Eagles are a fringe playoff team this year.
Yeah, if they win the division, which is not out of the question.
Yeah, so I think you're looking at Jared Goff for a while there, but yeah, no, the draft is going to be incredible. I just want to throw out. I was looking up the draft order, and I came across a mock draft on CBS. And Justin, I just want you to know the Lions are projected to have the number 1 pick right now, and this guy R. Wilson, who works at CBS Sports, has them taking Hutchinson number 1 overall. And then at number 2, the Texans, they have taking Matt Corral.
Holy smokes! Are you serious?
Yeah, 100. That's what he has in his mock draft. They don't. I would think
Corral's the number 1 player, number 1 quarterback right now.
I just don't know if he's worth the top 5 pick.
The 2 pick.
100% agree.
So then they have Ikem Iwanu, a offensive tackle out of North Carolina State.
Yep, I saw it. Yep.
And then they have the Jets getting Thibodeau and Neal. They don't have Thibodeau or Neal going in the top 3.
No, I wasn't kidding. I wasn't kidding when after the Ohio State game, and I expected it to see it. There were a decent number of mocks that had him number 1. Now, is it absolutely out of this mind crazy world thing? No. But if you take Aiden Hutchinson over Kayvon Thibodeau, who is younger, has way a higher ceiling, then you're just crazy. I think Hutchinson will definitely probably end up being a top 5 pick, depending how he does at the combine. But yeah, the mocks that I'll just say right now, the mocks that are out right now with the weird draft order that it is, people are trying to get like too weird with like all these top 10 picks, which is okay. But like, I think it's going to play out that they're all just going to pick like how we predict the order to go anyways. But yeah,
I'm sending you guys this link because I actually think some of it's pretty interesting, and we can talk about it on the actual show when we actually start focusing on the draft and not fantasy. I just wanted to point that out because I thought it was funny that they had Hutchinson and then Corral in this draft.
I would say,
imagine Giants picking up Kyle Hamilton and Derek Stingley Jr.
That's what I'm saying. That's a really interesting point.
But we can go on one second. I was going to ask this question to both of you, and Tom, you've been a part of this already. Kyle Hamilton is a very different safety than a lot of the safeties we've seen. He's more of a free safety probably. He'll be able to get in the running game. But yeah, he's more of a hybrid. Isaiah Simmons has had some success, but we've also seen Jamal Adams, a.k.a. Blitz Boy, basically be a detriment to his team since maybe after his rookie year. So are you hesitant to take a safety that high?
I was going to say me personally, no.
So besides that question, I just saw that Eagles have 3 first-round picks. I didn't know they had 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So considering that the Eagles have 3 first-round picks, they have to easily be the top candidate to try to trade for the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they can do 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it worth it? I don't know if it's worth it to give up a pick.
Not if they're playing saying Hutchinson's number 1. I'd rather.
Well, not even that. Not even that.
10.
I just don't even like Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be pretty good, but I mean Chase Young is the best defensive end I've seen come out of college in a long, long time, probably since the Bosa brothers. And he was really good in his rookie year, and he was pretty bad this year, and then got hurt. So I don't know if I'm willing to jump up and give up that, what could be, a Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson at receiver to get Kayvon Thibodeau, who will probably end up being very good. But let's also be real. Let's also be real. He could end up like Clowney, who has been a good player, but injured, and it's been a hit or miss with kind of thing. So, yeah.
Well, and that was the point that I was making was like you guys were saying, some of these teams should trade their, picks to move up because they have 2 in the top 10 or whatever. I personally think that is one of the stupidest things that a lot of teams do in sports. I would rather have more shots at dart throws than one dart throw that you're paying a lot more money than the other dart throws. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there are people that are considered locks to be good, but everything that you were just talking about, like Chase Young was supposed to be a lock to be amazing. He had a great rookie year last year. And then before he got hurt this year, was absolutely atrocious. He was nowhere to be found. You can say even Jeff Okudah. People thought Jeff Okudah was going to be amazing, and he is flopping on his ass in Detroit.
You may have said this to me in the beginning of when you were talking. I may have missed it. I would trade 5 first-round picks if there's a quarterback like Joe Burrow. I would trade all 5 first-round picks. And I think, and oddly enough, I think you would find that most of the teams would as well. Most teams would as well because the quarterback is that important. So, I mean, because we're talking about the fact that is it even worth giving up just 1 or 2 picks to get up to 1, and it's not a quarterback. So, it's not even worth it really. So, a quarterback makes that much of a difference. All right.
Well, especially if those picks that you're trading are top 10s, because if you're picking in the top 10 and you don't suck at drafting and scouting, those 2 picks are going to be amazing. Like you look at this CBS one, the Jets want to move up from 4 and 5 to 1. You're giving up Thibodeau and Neal in this mock draft. Giants are giving up Hamilton and Stingley. The Eagles are giving up that linebacker Dean from Georgia and Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson. Like those are all very, very good players, and you're giving them all up for 1 dart throw because they're all dart throws. We don't know how they're going to transition, but
Yeah, no,
You
I
know
say,
what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's just the quarterback thing makes it so much different. And like I said, this year it always ends up how the draft plays out. But I mean, this year it's going to be just, weird because there's so many good players that aren't necessarily just the number one pick or players we think they are. So, all right, let's get back to fantasy. Great draft talk, guys. That was good all around. Little golf clap for around the room there. I don't know where we were. Mac Jones.
I said Jared
had my
Goff.
quarterback.
You were
Yeah,
Jared Goff. Yes,
quarterback.
and Jared Goff got us. Okay, yes, okay, good. Now I remember. All right, so whoever's up, go.
Yeah. I am. He went with his first. He went Mac Jones. We had that whole thing. I am going kind of. It hurts me to have to put him in this spot, but I'm putting him here until further notice. I'm going with Russ versus San Francisco as my sit. He has looked absolutely putrid. I may be a little biased because he couldn't find DK Metcalf for one catch for 10 yards. He's looked slow coming back. His balls are like not going where they need to go, and he rushed back from this injury. I'm just gonna say it. He rushed back from this injury to try and save some playoff hope. There is none. This is not his year. He's hurt. The chemistry is off. Apparently, they're fighting on the sidelines now between some of the players. Like, Seattle's a shit show, and I'm glad that we have their first round pick because it only is going to get higher from here, I believe, and it's in no small part due to Russ playing poorly. So I'm going to go with Russ versus the 49er defense, who is playing very high level as of late.
And I said this last week. I can't trust Russell Wilson either. I mean, people called me crazy, but I just, as of right now, I cannot trust Russell Wilson until he figures out how to play with his 5 fingers again.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that. Okay, I get more in Russell Wilson in a little bit. All right, let's go to our running backs. Asher, we haven't heard from you in a while. Let's start with you, my man.
Oh, okay. I'm going with all of the Ravens running backs. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to.
You can, because I'm doing the same thing.
I'm sitting the Ravens running back field. I think this game between the Steelers and Baltimore Ravens, I know the Steelers are going to try everything they can to make sure that Lamar Jackson throws the ball. Because when Lamar Jackson throws the ball over the past 3 games, he's thrown 10 interceptions, 10 plus interceptions. So Steelers are not going to stray from that game plan. They're going to make sure that the Ravens cannot establish a running game. And as far as I'm concerned, I still couldn't trust the Ravens running back either. They're a running back by committee for a reason. They don't have a clear starting RB1 since J.K. Dobbins went out. And I just don't see this being a run-type game for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they'll be able to do anything on the ground besides Lamar Jackson being able to escape from the pocket.
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
All right, Tom.
I am going to go with an even broader pick here than Asher just did. I am benching every single running back in the Buffalo game and the New England game. I absolutely think that this is going to be a shootout through the air, and it's going to have to be. I already talked about Damon Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, Brandon Bolden going to have a tough time versus the Buffalo front because they're the number 1 rushing defense so far this year. And on the flip side, Buffalo is also running a committee between Singletary, Moss, and now Matt Breida has entered the mix for some reason, because he's now going to be relevant, apparently. But that
Hey.
I love Matt Breida. Don't get me wrong.
He might come up later. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I really don't like Buffalo running backs, number 1, because of the split and the way that they've been split. The one that I like the most, Zach Moss, is getting the least amount of looks and touches over the past couple weeks, partially due to his injury. But New England always finds a way to stuff the run. And I don't know how, because their front 7 is not necessarily the best or the worst, but I hate any sort of rushing attack in this game. So Damon Harris is someone that I've been very high on, and I've talked about on the show. This is just not the week to play him or any of the New England or Buffalo running backs versus each other. So I'm taking no rushing in that game whatsoever.
All right. Great pick, Tom. That was awesome.
Thank you.
All right. I guess since we're all doing the committee thing, I'm just going to go ahead and sit all the Jets running backs.
I would too.
I do have Tevin Coleman singled out just a little bit, just because if it does seem like if the Jets are going to get – the running backs are going to get involved, it'll probably be more in the passing game. And Tevin Coleman will probably give way to the other running backs in that sense. So, the Jets. So, no running backs. So, we have 4 teams that you should just not start running backs on this year. So, that's good. Good. Should be a hell of a day for running backs.
That's the reason I wanted to talk about him so much. That's why I threw out Rex Burkhead.
All right. Let's go to wide receivers. And
wait, I have a question. You said Patrick Queen was on the injury report. Is he playing or no?
Patrick who?
Patrick Queen.
Patrick Queen. I just saw something.
I'm pretty sure he's doubtful. Doubtful or out, I want to say.
Okay.
You could search him.
I will, because for my 32 teamer.
I got it.
All right. Wide receivers. Justin, go ahead. I'll start. Okay, cool.
He's on track to play.
Oh, he is? Cool.
Well, I was wrong. I'm going to be right about this one, though. I'm going to sit DK Metcalf again this week. I don't know if he's invisible to Russell Wilson now. I don't know if Russell Wilson doesn't have the arm strength to throw to him. I don't know if it's because he tries to have threesomes. Russell Wilson hates him. I don't know. He's just invisible to Russell Wilson now. And, Tom, I agree with you when sitting Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a lot of times put up in, like, the level of Tom Brady, and not necessarily Tom Brady, but like Aaron Rodgers, that he is that good. There are probably about 20 to 22 quarterbacks in the league I would take over Russell Wilson at this point, possibly more. And he just doesn't throw the ball at DK. For whatever reason, he didn't do it all last week. It was that game on Monday was obviously weird anyways, but it was even weirder in the fact that DK Metcalf was just – he may have not as well played that game. And I have no confidence in the Seahawks as a team just going forward with anything. They're going to get rid of either Pete Carroll or Russell Wilson at the end of the year. I would think the team would be smart and go with get rid of Pete Carroll, but I don't know. Russell Wilson.
It's looking like Russell Wilson's going to be the one to go.
It has to be, because we've been talking. I guess this is the first year, really. I guess kind of, but he's been falling off, and he started falling off rather sharply this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then hey, I know we did this for Odell, all you Odell fans out there, but we got a free DK. So he's on my fantasy team, so he needs to be.
Russell looked good the first 4 games of the season,
and then he got hurt.
And he hasn't. I don't think he'll be the same for the rest of the season, which is tough. It's hard to say because I liked Russell Wilson for so long.
Like right now. I'll ask you right now, because I think you might be surprised at maybe some people's answers. Go in a playoff game, who would you be more comfortable with at quarterback right now? Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins?
Why are you doing this to me? No, I'm still going Kirk Cousins. I'm going Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I just think that, if you end up going through the list of quarterbacks, and especially the way Kirk's been playing lately, even usually I cut off my limit at Kirk. I don't need the 300 whatever yard performances and whatever. But he just it may be his injury, maybe whatever. But I'm just out on Russell Wilson for a while, and which is it's going to be so awesome. I don't know if you've already seen it, because it's going to happen. Everyone in Cleveland is clamoring for Russell Wilson, and I will just castrate myself if we have Russell Wilson. So I would really give me Gardner Minshew over Russell Wilson, please. Just
all
right.
I don't know about that one, big dog.
What? Not a conversation. You aren't a Browns fan. You don't understand, so stop. Also, Zach Wilson sucks. Zach Wilson is terrible. He is so bad. He is last in every statistical category and advanced statistical categories. Yes, he is. He's terrible. All right. So you come at me, I come at you. You come at me, I come at you.
I'm not coming.
I'm here today, so I can fight back when people are yelling and making fun of me. All right, Asher, go ahead. Wide receiver.
Wide receiver this week, I'm going Devontae Parker for the Miami Fish team. It goes in line with my pick for Jaylen Waddle as a starter. Devontae Parker is still the wide receiver one, whether coming off injury or not. He's pulling the matchup with James Bradbury in the New York Giants system, which seems to be the only threat they really have in the defensive backfield, besides maybe McKinney. But other than that, Devontae Parker has to pull James Bradbury. He's coming off being questionable and injured for the past few weeks. I don't see him coming back getting the same workload he has in the past. I just don't like Devontae Parker in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and especially because he's coming off IR. He's only being activated this morning.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. Justin, I want to let you go here because I have two that I really would like to talk about, but I don't want to have to choose.
I already went with wide receivers.
Oh, well, who'd you go
Remember
with?
it was DK? It was DK.
Oh, DK. Yeah. I'm going to choose another kind of broad, generic one, which kind of sucks, but it's fine. I'm benching every single Giants wide receiver. What? Time
out. Real quick from both of you. Top 4 predictions for college football before it comes out. Tom.
Michigan, Cincinnati, Alabama, Georgia.
That order?
Yeah.
Asher.
I'm going Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Cincy. That order.
Yeah. I think I'll go with yours probably too. I think they should. I'll get quick. I think that I would rather see Georgia and Alabama play again in the semifinals than in the national championship. But I do think that they'll split them apart this one, so I like yours better. I'll keep everyone updated. I'm sure it'll be.
I split them apart.
What?
Mine would have Georgia playing Michigan and Cincy playing Bama.
Yeah, I don't know. I whatever. Yeah,
okay.
I would rather. I just want to get my point across. I'd rather them play in the semifinals, but whatever. I also think Cincinnati, sneaky, might win it all. They are by far the most balanced team in that group. All right. I'll keep everyone updated. Wide receivers, Tom.
Yeah, so I was starting to say that I'm benching the Giants wide receivers versus Miami.
Sorry for the interruption.
You're good. Not only do they not have Daniel Jones, who they've been working with all year, because he's out with, I think it was a neck injury. But Mike Glennon's not Daniel Jones. I don't want to say that Daniel Jones is this great passer, but Mike Glennon is Mike Glennon. Also, out of those Giants wide receivers that I'm benching, some of them are already injured, especially Sterling Shepard. Kadarius Toney is, I believe, also out for a play. So when I'm saying Giants receivers, I'm saying Galladay, Slayton, and John Ross. Like they're not a good group of receivers in this system, at least so far. And Miami's defense has really been coming back to that magic that they had last year. And it starts with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones, who are going to lock up 2 of those 3. So unless John Ross out of the slot decides to go for like 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, I don't see there being any value in the Giants wide receiving room or in the quarterback for that matter, but especially in the receiving room today versus Miami.
All right.
I like it.
All right. All right. Tight ends. Tom, go ahead.
Okay. I will go ahead and bench Noah Fant this week versus the Chiefs. Fant, when he's fully healthy, is a top 5 tight end fantasy-wise because he's a great pass-catching tight end and he gets it done. However, in 2 of the last 3 outings, he's been held to 12 yards or less. So Teddy Bridgewater does not use the tight end spot because of how many other weapons and targets he has in that Broncos passing attack. Between Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, my man Aquaman, and 2 quality backs. There is so many people for him to move the ball around to, and when I say 2 quality backs, that's when they're healthy. Javonte Williams obviously going to get more touches. Everything I already talked about it, but Fant is kind of that middleman on the totem pole. And part of his reason that he is struggling this year is the same reason that oh God, who was his name? Oh, you know what? I was thinking of someone else. It's part of the reason he's struggling this year is because George Kittle, or he's like George Kittle, where he's just a great blocker, and they need him on that line because that line is injured. So they use him as a blocker, and he's not going out getting those passes that you would expect him to because he's such a great tight end. But he's not going out there because they need to use him as a blocker to protect Teddy Bridgewater a little bit more. The Chiefs are a great matchup against tight ends, but I just don't see Fant coming through and pulling through and scoring really any points. I'll be surprised if he breaks 40 yards.
I like it. I have to agree with that on so many levels. I don't think Fant has played up to his potential this year in the past few games, and going against a Chiefs defense who has been doing pretty well against tight ends. I don't see Teddy relying on Noah Fant to get through this game.
All right. Cool. I had Fant as my sleeper. I will now take him off. All right. Asher, go ahead.
At least you're honest about it. For all you Justin Fields to Cole Kmet lovers, I'm sorry. I'm gonna sit Cole Kmet this week. He's going against AZ, or Arizona, who is second against tight ends amongst the league. The only really fantasy relevant game they gave up to a tight end was to George Kittle in San Francisco, but that Cole Kmet is no George Kittle. I understand that Justin Fields does have that connection with Kmet. Fields is back this week. I just don't see Kmet being able to do anything against Isaiah Simmons or the at least the back 5 of Arizona's defense.
I love that, honestly. I was looking that way as well. I absolutely love that. That's great.
Yeah, I saw that a lot across all the sites that I go to for finding these answers.
Finding my answers, yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Why would I lie about it? All right. My sit-em tight end, I feel like we're all wrong about this because me and Tom, I feel like we're wrong about this because we're clicking on the same game way too much. I feel like it's going to be hell for me, and I'll get to it. I'm sitting Hunter Henry.
That was literally the other one I wrote down. Yeah.
Buffalo has given up the fewest fantasy points to tight ends over the last 2 weeks. And oddly enough, like Bill Belichick in tough games likes to go away from a lot of his strengths at times. And oddly enough, like the Patriots supporting cast should be terrible, but they're all like somehow they fit together and are very good, and they have a lot of different options other than Henry. Like I said, Buffalo's been playing better defense against tight ends in the last 2 weeks. So I'm sitting Hunter Henry, and like I said, with all this, the Patriots are going to win like 42-3. So it's gonna be
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly on Hunter Henry. He's touchdown dependent enough as is. Then you throw in the fact that Buffalo has been amazing versus tight ends, and it's just not a good matchup for him. So I agree 100% with you on that.
All right. 100% would be on that. All right. Defenses. Just go ahead whenever.
I know we keep hitting on the same game, but I'm benching both the New England defense and the Buffalo defense. All right. It's going to be a shootout.
I'm sitting the Chargers.
Good choice.
I'll sit the Bengals.
Ooh, okay.
I guess right before we get into sleepers,
Bengals are
before we get into sleepers, this is the one question that seems to be plastered everywhere, and I kind of think it's pretty. I think I have a pretty fair side to it. Joe Burrow going forward, Justin Herbert going forward. Which party are you?
I saw. Go ahead.
I was just saying, which party are you guys in? And Asher, you can obviously go first. You jumped at it.
Oh man, yeah, I saw this topic on NFL Network. Watching it this morning. It's really a tough one. I do like both quarterbacks, but I like the athleticism and overall talent in Justin Herbert a little bit more. Joe Burrow seems to have, these up and comers in Joe Mixon. He's got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and he still has Tyler Boyd to rely on. Justin Herbert just has more athleticism and a bigger arm, greater arm. I know he's been inconsistent as of late, but as long as the team keeps trying to build around Justin Herbert and just allow Justin Herbert to work on his game, I'd rather have Justin Herbert going forward.
Tom, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was digging through, looking for my shirt. I am all in on the Justin Herbert train going forward. Joe Burrow is obviously a great quarterback. He's in a much better situation, I say right now.
Yeah.
That's even difficult to say because I think both teams are kind of in that tweener, just about to be really good phase. But I think that the skill set that Herbert has shown through the 2 years now, where we've only seen really one full season of Burrow due to his injury. The 2 seasons that we're starting to see Herbert put together, I think he's going to translate to a better quarterback longer term. But I think that Burrow also has the ceiling that Herbert has. I just think that Herbert has a better chance of reaching it. So I'm in the Justin Herbert train going forward.
So, Justin, before you go, I just saw a headline that Seattle is expecting and wants Russell Wilson to be the starting quarterback in 2022.
Great. That means he's not coming to Cleveland. That's good. That's good. Well, I guess then, do you guys think that means Pete Carroll's out?
No,
because I think he would have potentially at least thought about going back to USC.
I mean, what coach fits Russell Wilson better than Pete Carroll?
I agree. Tom, that was a silly statement. I'm just going to hope no one heard that, but okay.
I thought he would at least entertain it.
Yeah, come on. No. No. So I'm just going to come out and say about Herbert and Burrow, like, I'm a little disappointed in both of them this year. Like, I thought they were both going to make this huge next step, and they both looked like it at the beginning of the season, and they've kind of had inconsistent seasons. I, too, probably agree with Herbert. I think he's in a better situation. I like his coach more. I think he's got better weapons around him for the most part, although Mixon's very good. But I will
so is that
you guys kind of touched on Herbert. I will say that Joe Burrow is more like, and we can say this about different divisions, and maybe you think about your own division, whatever, and you think of whatever. Playing in the AFC North, like, you kind of have to be like a tough quarterback. And Joe Burrow is that. Like, I think he is the version of Baker Mayfield that I want to see in Baker Mayfield, that he is. I also think he, down the long term in the AFC North overall, I think he's going to be the best quarterback in the end of the next couple of years. Lamar's just been too inconsistent. But likely, I agree going forward with Herbert. He could show a little more with his legs. He has more impressive arm strength and that offense. And I just trust him and Staley a lot more than I do Zach Taylor, even though Zach Taylor's done a good job this year. I will say, though, as much as Eckler's huge to Herbert, Mixon's
amazing. Everyone knows
Mixon is finally showing that we all thought pretty much that when he came out of college, Oklahoma. So
I'm so happy about it too. I
like Joe Mixon a lot. Or he's not a very good human being, kind of off the field, but whatever. All right. So yeah, I figured I'd bring it up.
In that conversation, I don't even really care about the weapons behind them. I know I highlighted the weapons behind them, but as far as just pure talent and athleticism go, I think Justin Herbert is built a little as a QB. I think he's built to have a better performance than Joe Burrow any day.
I think so
agree.
Too. Then
I always look at it as like, if they were in switch situations, who would be doing better with the other situation? And I think that would be Herbert. Because if Herbert had the weapons of Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, like, I think Herbert would be leading the league in passing yards right now by a wider margin than most would assume.
And I think Jamar Chase might be the second coming of the best wide receiver of all time.
Yeah,
in his rookie season. In his rookie season,
right? Like if you put Herbert in that situation, I know you're going up against the tougher defenses, and he's been a guy that's a Southern Cal kind of guy, and he fits the description. I just think that if the situations were flipped, Burrow would struggle a little bit more with the Chargers than Herbert would with the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna sound dumb, but you put Joe Herbert in those light blue uniforms, I'll take Joe Burrow in those light blue uniforms. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if Joe Burrow was like playing on the Chargers right now, like I think I would probably say Joe Burrow in this conversation, just because I'm not gonna lie, the powder blue just looks incredible, and you look like an offensive. You look like a skill elite offensive player when wearing the powder blues. So, and that's wrong, and that's just what my head and shows how dumb I am, though. But all right.
One more thing before we go to the sleepers. I saw something that said, oh God, I just had it. Never mind, I forgot it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I forgot it. Whatever, it's fine.
Cincy is number 4. Georgia is number 3. Those are the 2 first official top 4s.
Georgia's 3 and Cincy's 4.
Yeah,
that means they're gonna have Alabama 2 and Michigan 1 probably. How did Cincy go down?
No, I think they're gonna have Alabama 1.
I think they have Alabama 1 as well.
I think they're gonna have Alabama 1 too. I just don't. I just don't think they're like. I really wanted them to change the matchups, but yeah, no, and it sucks because I really do think Cincinnati could have beat Michigan, but maybe they can't.
Cincy also did not go down. I think they just stayed at 4.
I thought they were 3 last week.
No, Bama was 3.
Yeah, no, they haven't moved. When this broke like it did, I knew Cincy. Like everyone was saying, Cincy was in yesterday. I think there was still a little bit of a shred of a doubt, kind of.
Michigan is number 2, so that means Bama's 1.
Yeah,
yep.
That's crazy.
Well,
no, Cincy was 3 last week. Bama was 4.
Well, when Bama played Georgia, they were 3. Oh, that's this week though, I guess.
And it's CBS that does it, so it might have been the AP poll.
I'm looking at the AP top 25 on the score. And
then they did the college football playoff ranking. Alabama was 3.
Okay. And CFP rankings, it's official. Bearcats are 4. Bulldogs are 3. Michigan's 2. That means Bama's 1.
I hate to break it to you guys, but we're looking at Alabama, Georgia, part 2. I think I would put, if you offer me $10,000, I think I would put all of that on that parlay to get to the national championship. There's no way Michigan can even find a shred of a way to run on Georgia's defense. Like that's just a bad matchup for them all around. And Alabama, I do think Alabama and Cincy will be close for a quarter, but I think they blow them out anyways. Although it would be great to be just like 2014, the Ohio team beats Nick Saban. I'll be cheering for Cincinnati. I really like Cincinnati. I really do think they have some like Ahmad Gardner, their cornerback. I think he should be a top 10 pick next year. He's really good. But let's get back to fantasy, and we're gonna head on to our sleepers unless anyone has anything else.
No.
I will say though that is still an interesting playoff. I am happy that Oklahoma State isn't in it. I will say that, even though I wanted to see Mike Gundy, I didn't think Oklahoma State would have stood a chance against any 3 of those teams.
Well, Oklahoma State lost to Baylor, did they not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they would have been in if they would have won that game.
If they would have won and Georgia would have beat Bama, they would have gotten in.
No, I think they keep one of Georgia, Bama out, and they get Oklahoma State in. But that's a different conversation for a different time.
That's what I was saying.
All right, sleepers. Asher, let's start with you. Quarterbacks.
Yeah, easy. I'm going Gardner Minshew for the Eagles against the Jets. I think that's an easy sleeper pick. Minshew Mania is coming in. For the Jags, he did a lot with little, like I said earlier. Now he has like a pretty established offense scheme going into this against a great matchup against the Jets. So I think Gardner Minshew connects with Devontae Smith on multiple levels. I think Dallas Goddard's going to have a great day in the red zone. And I think Minshew Mania is going to have an all-around great game.
All right, Tom.
Yeah, I don't really have a backup, so I'm just gonna kind of ride with that as well. Actually, you know what? Here, let me look.
I'll go ahead.
Did we talk about Taylor Heineke?
Nope.
No, we haven't yet.
I'll talk about Taylor Heineke as my sleeper versus the Raiders. I know that I was saying that this game is kind of like a nothing game for me, but Taylor Heineke past couple weeks has really been turning it up. Asher knows all about it. I think that kind of continues a little bit. I believe J.D. McKissick is out, so now it's Antonio Gibson, Jarrett. What's his name? Jarrett, whatever.
Jared McKissick.
No, that's J.D. McKissick. He's out. I'm saying Jarrett.
Then I don't know, Tom. Keep going.
Okay, they're gonna have a committee backfield now, and that only can mean that they're gonna look for some shorter routes instead of a run game, even though they have Gibson. Instead of the swing routes that go out to McKissick, he's going to have to throw it to a wide receiver of some sort, which is going to only lead to more points for him.
Jared Patterson.
Yeah. Jared Patterson. But I'm gonna say that he's gonna have a good game versus the Raiders, coming off a big win versus Dallas. Oh, the Raiders came off a big win, but I think that they're going to be riding that high a little too high on Washington, and Taylor Heineke is going to turn some heads.
I like it.
I'll go with Heineke.
I mean, I can't hate on Heineke any more than I have this season. He's done everything to prove me wrong. So more power to him.
Yeah. That's a good one. Did someone already talk about Carson Wentz?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
really?
I'm not going to do him anyways.
Oh, no. I put Carson.
I thought you did. Yeah, I thought you did.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm going to go with real sleeper here. Might not even see the field. I think we should. I think we should all, and this is serious. We should be on Drew Lock watch today. Teddy Bridgewater gets beat up. He's gotten beat up the last couple games. I don't think they're going to win this one. I don't really think it's going to be close. So it would not surprise me if you see a Drew Lock in there at some point. It's just Teddy gets beat up so much. It's like if it's a blowout, you might as well take him out. So, hey, maybe he'll throw you a late touchdown. Who knows?
Nobody start Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Don't start Drew Lock. I understand the whole sleeper pick behind him, but don't start him.
Unless it's a 32-teamer, then it's okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have any other quarterback, it's fine. No, but I do like the call that we'll see Lock today. Well. But I for fantasy purposes, absolutely not.
No.
I would rather you go stream Zach Wilson than start Drew Lock.
Correct.
Okay. Well, thanks. Feel good about it. All right.
We said we like the pick, just not as a fantasy pick.
I mean, I understand why Asher had to say that, but I really hope no one out there is dumb enough to start Drew Lock. I'm the dumbest one here by a long shot. I don't know why anyone would start Drew Lock, but running backs. I'll start this one. I said he might come up later. Matt Breida. Someone has to maybe score some points or gain some yards in this game. I guess they could be just 0-0 at the 50 the whole game. But he's got at least 12 fantasy points in the 2 out of the last 3 games. Zach Moss is out. I believe he had 11 targets or 11 touches last week compared to not Henderson. What's their Singletary's 16th? So he gets used a decent amount. If you don't have any other options, Matt Breida is out there.
I like him as a deep sleeper.
I do like him as well, considering the weather that they're going to have to play in.
All right, cool.
I love that.
I feel a lot better now than the first one. All right, Asher, go ahead, running back.
Damn it.
Yeah, if you really want to go ahead.
No,
Tom,
it's
go
fine.
ahead.
No, it's fine.
I doubt you're going to have him as a sleeper. But my sleeper is Miles Sanders this week.
I actually did have him, but then I switched it because of some injury news, so it's okay.
No, fair enough. I'm going Miles Sanders with Minshew in and Jalen Hurts out. I think Miles Sanders has more of a workload, considering the fact that I don't see Minshew taking the Jalen Hurts approach, and use that versatile running stats in the game, or whatever you might say. I like Miles Sanders in this game. I think with a normal type QB coming into the system, he'll have more options to get the ball on the ground.
All right. Tom, go ahead.
I am going with Rex Burkhead versus the Indianapolis Colts. David Johnson is out, and can anyone name the next running back on the roster?
Who's out?
I don't want to try.
David Johnson is out, and Rex Burkhead is stepping into the starting role.
Tyrod Taylor?
I'm asking who's the next running back on the roster?
Behind Rex Burkhead?
Behind Rex Burkhead.
I don't know.
They probably have some sort of defensive back in there.
They have – apparently they went out and signed these two this week. I didn't even see the news. But they now have Royce Freeman and Jalen Samuels on hand in reserve. They have no running backs to do the work except for Burkhead. The Colts, the one place that they very much struggled was running backs out of the backfield. And we all know Rex Burkhead as a great pass catcher. And he's now also, on top of his pass catching work that he's been taking from David Johnson, he now takes over the full-time running backs position. I absolutely love him versus the Colts today as a deep sleeper and someone that you can add to DFS lineups for cheap. So I'm going with Rex Burkhead.
Okay.
So I like the pick. I think that's a great pick. But off topic, I can't believe this hasn't been said yet, but there's been private reports that Ben Roethlisberger will not be coming back, and they are going to take a very aggressive approach finding a new quarterback when the time comes. Which that means with Aaron Rodgers not likely wanting to stay in Green Bay.
We've been saying it all year.
we might be just putting it into an existence.
We speak it into existence.
Yeah.
Justin.
I didn't bring it up because I thought maybe you guys talked about it last week, but I guess it did come out this week. I don't really have anything to say. I've been saying this since forever. I mean, it's done. We're over. Baker sucks. Aaron Rodgers. It's just done. It's fine. We tried hard. Whatever. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you know what? I feel better for you than Asher because I'll take him off your back out of your conference. And like I said, I lived without NFL football for the first 18 years of my life. I'm probably 22, 23, 24, 25 years of my life. I'm fully capable of doing it again. All right. Whoever was up, go ahead. I'm lost.
I just gave my Rex Burkhead take, so I think we're moving on to wide receivers.
Correct.
Okay.
Whoever would like to go.
Asher, go ahead.
My wide receiver is going to be Van Jefferson against Jacksonville. Over the past 2 weeks, Van Jefferson has drew 16 targets. Matthew Stafford has been trying to get him more into the passing game, and what better way to put up some points than facing Jacksonville Jaguars defense, who have been atrocious against the pass, but for some odd reason can stay in games. Not quite sure how it happens, but it does. Van Jefferson is my sleeper for the week.
I really like that. He's been coming more and more involved, which is just fantastic because he's a great receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan. Love him. All right. Oh, actually, I was like the first guy who picked him like 10 weeks ago. Or maybe someone did before me. I don't know. All right. Tom.
I am going with Brandon Ayuk versus Seattle. He was in Shanahan's doghouse for ever. But since week 8, he's now averaging wide receiver 20 fantasy numbers. And Deebo Samuel, who is the wide receiver 2 right now for the overall season, is supposed to be out for a week or two, meaning Ayuk is going to be that top target, but he has a similar skill set to Samuel, and they used him in the rushing game last year when he wasn't in the doghouse and breaking out as a good receiver. I think that there could be that uptick that Samuel has been getting in the rushing game as well as the short passing game. But I think Ayuk is just going to step in and kind of try and be Deebo Samuel light, which can only mean that he's going to put up Deebo Samuel numbers. So especially versus the Seahawks defense that is just atrocious. And they're going to have a lot of opportunities with the ball because Russell Wilson we've already talked about not looking great, and they don't have a running game. So I love everything that Brandon Eck has lined up for him this week.
All righty. Great pick, Tom.
Thank you.
All right. Me. I went with Christian Kirk this week.
Okay.
I don't love it anymore the more I think about it, but whatever, I'm going to go with it. Kyler Murray's back, so he typically likes to use a lot of his different targets. He pretty much spreads the ball out a lot, except I do feel like he might favor a little bit to DeAndre Hopkins again today. But Christian Kirk, I think it was the first game of the season, had over 100 yards, maybe 2 touchdowns. So I could see him having a game similar to that with Kyler Murray coming back from injury. I do expect him to put the ball in the air a good amount, considering they've pounded the ball for the most part the past couple of weeks. But I like Christian Kirk because he's kind of been really quiet, and why not? So, yeah.
Love that.
Just on fire. All right. What do we do now? Tight ends. Tom.
I've used this guy in my sleeper. No. I've used this guy as a sleeper starter in the past, and I never seem to have a good enough read on him. But I'm gonna roll the dice one more time. I'm going with Tyler Higbee versus Jacksonville. The Rams have had a very difficult time in the red zone of late, and they've suffered because of it, as they've lost. I believe, they lost their last 4 games in a row. I think they've slid.
Oh, they're 0-3. They're 0-3.
0-3 the past couple weeks. That's fine. I was close. I think that McVay is going to take the 3 losses that he's taken and adapt to it, because that's just the kind of coach that he is. And I think he's going to recognize that Higbee is, while a great blocker, and he has the George Kittle syndrome where he's got to block because that Rams line, while very good, tends to give up a lot of sacks on Stafford, and they need to protect him. But I think he's going to recognize that while Stafford has all of these wideouts that are amazing and he has chemistry with, Higbee is a guy who finds a way to get open in the red zone, but they don't utilize him enough because of the fact that he's blocking. I think McVay is going to try and just be like, look, we need to put points on the board. Matt, just get the ball out as fast as you can, because he has a knack for getting the ball in the end zone untouched. So I'm going to go out, especially versus this Jacksonville defense that struggles a lot. Doesn't necessarily have the best pass rush if you can stop Josh Allen. I think that it's going to hopefully translate to a pick-me-up game for Tyler Higbee and the Rams. So I'm going with Higbee there.
All right.
I can't say with 100% honesty that I like that pick, but more power to you.
I said it's all the dice.
I just don't like Higbee. That's it.
Trust me, I don't love him either.
That was just a really nice way to say "fuck you," Tom. So, all right.
With all due respect.
All right. Is it my turn, or is it Asher? Did you go yet? No, you didn't go yet.
You can go.
Mine was Fant, so I still have to find mine. So
okay. Considering Jaylen Waddle is out this week, I'm exploring the Foster Moreau option. I like Foster Moreau coming to this game. I know Derek Carr loves his tight ends. I know that it's not fair to say that he's going to have a Darren Waller type game, considering Darren Waller is just a specimen. The man's an absolute monster. He's not built like Darren Waller, but I still like to see what Foster Moreau can do without Darren Waller in the system for 100% of the game. And I think he could put up some numbers, especially in the red zone with Derek Carr. So I'm going to explore that option.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Hold on 1 second. I just had it pulled up.
Hold on.
I was going to say something else. I forgot. All right, Logan Thomas is going against the Raiders. He's pretty good as a tight end, so going to go with him.
Him and Heineke got the connection. Now that he's finally back.
I will say, Tom, I also do like your Heineke pick, but he's also due for a fall back onto this earth as well sometime soon.
That's fair.
I mean,
I just don't think it's going to be versus the Raiders.
They got that good. Like, well, actually, it's the second half of the season, so they're going to lose every game. So you're right. Okay. All right. Defenses. Anybody?
Minnesota.
San Francisco.
All right. Which games are we most looking forward to? Which are the national games this week?
That's a good question. Who are the? Let me see. So at the 4:05 one, we get the Jaguars and Rams and the football team and Raiders. Then 4:25 we have the Steelers, Ravens, and the Niners, Seahawks. And then the night game tonight is Broncos, Chiefs. So that's pretty crap. And then Monday night game is Buffalo, New England. So that'll actually be good tomorrow.
All right. 12:46. Let me pull up my fantasy team, see if I need to make any moves.
I think we're all set, unless there were questions that I missed because I've been in the private chat.
No, I didn't see any questions up there.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're all good to go. Everybody, we're gonna try and do a show this week. Asher, me, and you hopefully could definitely do one at some point. I know, Tom, you got finals, but there's a whole lot to talk about with college football and the NFL.
And college basketball.
Yeah, and college basketball. I mean, I don't know if Asher likes college basketball, but whatever.
I do.
Yeah, Tar Heels are playing today. They finally got a win. Michigan is not very good.
No.
I know they came in with they're just not very good.
Well, and Bama yesterday had a huge day in just sports in general because they beat Georgia, and then I saw they beat Gonzaga.
Yeah, I'm going to come out and say it right now. I think people are a little bit high on Gonzaga after last year.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Suggs was a really, 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 really key component of that team, being the point guard. And Chet Holmgren is really good, and I think he is going to be really, really good. I think there's a chance the Cavs could get him. I don't know what they would do with all the tall people then. Jesus. But Gonzaga is nowhere near as good as they were last year. They're not. But it looks like a pretty open field this year. There are rumors coming out of Duke, and this is just, I love it, awesome stuff. The Coach K retirement tour is already going great. He lost at Ohio State. He can't come to my even state and even try and defeat me. He's my bitch. I love that. Also, I mean, their number one recruit and player, Paolo Banchero. There's rumors that he's got a serious alcohol problem. So, well, he first got arrested with Coach K's kid, and now it's basically coming out that Coach K's kid was his fall guy, or Coach K's grandson, whatever, was his fall guy for when that happened. And then it's probably not true, but he over the past 2 games, he's had severe cramping issues because of dehydration, and they don't know why at all. So I'm like I said, I don't hope for injuries. Paolo Banchero, if you need to get yourself into rehab, I've done it before. You should do that. But it's definitely a great thing for him, and it would be even better for the college basketball world because we could just shut up about Coach K. Maybe he would fall off a bridge. But yeah, other than that, anything else? I guess predictions for the playoff as of right now. I don't know who you guys think win the 2 semifinals, and who you guys think meet in the championship. Who wins?
I mean, Georgia and Bama is the easy go-to.
I'm going. I'm gonna go with Cincy, Georgia.
Cincy, Georgia. Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, I would. Yeah, I love that. I would absolutely love that. That would be incredible. But All right, yeah. I think it's. I will say I think it's cool that Cincinnati is in. I don't. We haven't talked as much this week about, but all the coaching moves over the weekend, over this past week, were insane. It looks like Oklahoma's going to hire Clemson's defensive coordinator Brett Venables. Notre Dame did hire Marcus Freeman. Lincoln Riley's obviously at USC. Brian Kelly with just one of the. He is just the biggest asshole he has to be the biggest asshole coach in the world. Not only did he kill a human being, but he's just a douche. He's at LSU. He's going to be really, really good at LSU because he already did really good at Notre Dame. He's their all-time wins leader. And like they actually have like standards and rules at Notre Dame. And at LSU, they don't have any of those things whatsoever. So he's going to be basically fishing from a whole new recruiting pond. He's going to be very, very good. What do you guys think about this? Ryan Day to the Chicago Bears?
I think that's a little soon. Personally, I don't know. I don't know enough about him personally for me to comment on it. But I do. I was going to ask, did you watch the speech that Kelly gave the guys? Because someone recorded it, like in the
yeah, of course, yes,
in the text. That was just
people ripping the text. I don't hate the text. It's the only way you can get it out these days. I mean, once he signed the paper, there was a billion people that knew about it. And also people get bitching about 7 a.m. They're football players. They're in season. They probably have to lift at like 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. So it's not that big a deal. But the fact that he was in there, fact that he was in there for 11 minutes, and if you watch the speech, how many times he said me, my, I, my family, my story, things like that. It was insane. He's just a bad dude. Also, Ashley, you didn't say anything about Ryan Day. I don't know if you know. Ryan Day is the next coach that's going to go to the NFL from the college ranks. He was ready, built, and his whole background is Chip Kelly in the Eagles, and he was in the Patriots system for a while. I can't remember the Division II program over there that like all those coaches came out of. Like I want to say even the Eagles' old coach Peterson. But yeah, so he is going to be the next one. And I would love it. I want him to be gone very fast. I don't know if you saw also Quinn Ewers has entered the transfer portal. I've said this all year, Tom. You can back me up. This is exactly what's going to happen. He's going to go win a Heisman. As long as he doesn't go to Texas Tech, which weirdly enough, there are rumors out there that he's going to Texas Tech.
Suck.
No, it's their new coach. Their new coach at Texas Tech is like a big high school recruit. Like he was a high school coach last year, basically. So that's why. But I said this is how Ohio State ended up with Justin Fields. They fucked up and held on to it. They're going to fuck up and hold on to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud can go piss off. I would let him transfer. The dude doesn't know how to run. He can't run. The one time he did run in the Michigan game, granted, it got called back. He scored a touchdown. So I don't know why people are clinging to this guy like he's God. He's by far the worst quarterback they've had in 5 years. And the next probably, I don't know, not Justin Herbert, he's too tall. Joe Burrow, one of these next millennial guys, Kyler Murray kind of guy. He is now going to go win a Heisman, and Ohio State's going to suck. And I want Ryan Day to have his knees sliced. I just don't understand how you let the number one recruit walk away like that when you have CJ Stroud, who against Michigan literally couldn't complete a pass. Yes, it was snowing, but B, he has the best receivers in the country by a long shot, and all you have to do is basically throw the ball in the air, and it gets to them. So
tomorrow we're gonna wake up to highlights. Ryan Day trips and scrapes his knees,
or we're gonna see him like he falls down the stairs somewhere and he gets stretchered and ambulanced out, and we learn that he only had like a chipped tooth, just like Dalvin Cook, All right, guys. Everyone, you guys enjoy your watching football today. I probably will not watch any. Cavs are on. I'm going, so have fun.
I will be working on my paper.
Yeah, so I guess, Asher, you have fun. I'll have fun at the game. Tom, you won't.
No. I do have a one-bite Barstool pizza to make, though, so I got that to look forward.
Ooh, I tell me how that is actually.
I made one
I'm more
yesterday.
interested.
I'm not gonna lie. For frozen pizza, it was pretty good. It's not great pizza overall, but if you're looking for just something that you throw in the toaster oven for 5-10 minutes, maybe 15, it's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
One last thing, Tom, this will resonate with you. I don't know if you know as much, Asher. Obviously, the horrible school shooting in Michigan over the weekend or over the week. Kid was a hero. I did a whole. I don't know if you guys don't watch the Friday show. I did a whole thing on Friday about him. He's a great kid. But I don't know if you saw Barstool posted about it on Twitter, and then Keith Olbermann came in and said like some like Trump bigotry, some like. Keith Olbermann, like, first of all, Tom, we have to talk. We'll have to talk maybe when we get on our next podcast. The MLB just doing this to themselves.
Don't get me started.
Doing this to themselves. But then, so Keith Olbermann, an old hag, terrible baseball writer, come in and says this, basically just has no business, has anything to do with this kid being a hero, and just crushes it because it's Barstool. Like, be more out of the loop, dude. Like, the only reason he's not going to get fired is because, A, I don't think he has a real job, and B, because he's probably like tenured as a baseball writer, because all of them are like 79 years old. But yeah, we'll have to talk about baseball at some point. I don't know how much. I mean, I'm going to come out and say I would not miss baseball if there was not a season. I would not miss it whatsoever. You should, although, because I forgot, you guys just signed Max Scherzer as well, which we
got that in right under the wire.
In the I'm not kidding. In the history of baseball, there probably isn't a better 1-2 punch ever in the history of baseball. But I hate to tell you this, it's the Mets, so something's going to go wrong. So
100%, and I recognize that. The only saving grace that I keep telling myself is. We have Tajon Walker as our third because they let Stroman walk. They let Syndergaard walk.
To the Cubs.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
He went to the Cubs.
We do. I forgot about baseball, Tom. We do need to get our podcast at some point because we have to get our baseball hate out, and this seems like just the best time to do it. So, everyone, enjoy your Sundays. I'll leave my number in the chat. I probably won't. I think I've said that the past 17 weeks.
Before you go, it's gonna ruin me if I don't say it. Syndergaard is on the Angels, not the Cubs.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, Stroman
went to the Cubs.
Stroman.
Okay.
Stroman went to the Cubs. Yeah, no,
I'm just tripping.
I give the Angels credit, Tom. We always say this, like it's incredible they have those two players. I can't think of the
Shohei Ohtani and Trout.
Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. I'll give it to them. They're trying to get some relevance there, but. The irony just falls back upon the fact that they're trying to do this, and if there is a God in heaven, there won't be a season. So that's just great. And especially it's great for gamblers out there as well, because I know we all tried to like gamble on baseball in the beginning, and we all fail miserably. And if you're good at it, that's crazy, but it's good for gamblers. So everyone have a good rest of the weekend. Ash, I'll probably talk to you this week. Whenever you're free, we'll hop on one. For sure, and we'll see. We'll try and coordinate with Tom, but we'll see. He might not be doing. He's got the terrible school stuff. So, but it was good having all three of us back. I'm not going to wish injury upon anyone else this show, I guess. This could come really back to haunt all of you guys. Really, just you two in your professional manner. Someone when you're getting real jobs in a couple of years. Well, Asher's in the military, so it won't. They might put you on like a watch list, or they might ask you about me and be like, put this guy on a watch list. So, but Tom, they're going to look at you when you're applying to be like a sports agent. They'll be like, who is this crackhead like 5 years ago?
That's my boy.
All right. I'll see you guys later though. Have a good Sunday.
All right. Catch y'all.